everyone, welcome back to QSR Nation, your weekly source of food service marketing and business strategies for success. Here are your hosts, Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri.
Welcome back to QSR Nation. As always, we have Josh, Beth, Grant, and Tony here from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri to talk about food service marketing and business strategies for success. First of all, welcome back, everybody. It's been a couple weeks since we've released a podcast, so it's exciting.
A nice break.
Officially 2019.
2019.
Can we believe it?
Yeah. Have you already failed your goals?
Already.
Yeah, I blew it 20 minutes into the new year. So I was like, dang it.
Well, I mean, there's always 2020.
That's right. Year of vision. I wonder how many slogans there'll be of that.
So as we're diving into this new year, it's always good to look back in 2018 and kind of analyze what you did marketing-wise and kind of double down on some of the things that actually worked instead of getting kind of sidetracked by all the bright lights out there that you might see, like voice search, AI, and things like that. But really dive down on what worked last year, right, Tony?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of great things that, AI and voice search and those things are going to bring to businesses and reaching consumers. But we can't just abandon what did work in 2018 as business owners. So, you got to take that time to kind of, reflect and assess. Look at, what went well. Where did you see some ROI? Where did you see movement? How are you assessing the return on investment there? And then, what went well, what went wrong? Why did it work good? Why didn't it work? And then, the things that did work, don't abandon. Continue to build momentum on that. I know we've had discussions, in the office before about what I call IDR, investment-driven return, and, making sure that you're capitalizing on those things to continue to build in 2019 so you keep investing to drive that ROI.
Yeah.
And when you don't have years in data, just basically over year to figure out what is working, what's trending down, what's trending up, you can't really make those educated decisions in the future of, okay, we really want to go into this direction, for example, digital. If you're not investing anything or you're not analyzing any of those statistics that have come in for the future and then in the past, you can't utilize those dollars that you're trying to set aside for effective marketing campaigns and try and tell your managers or whatever you're trying to do to try and tell them, hey, I want to move on in this venture because this is what's going to be coming up in 2020, 2021 if you don't have any of those analytics.
Mm-hmm. And it can be very, easy to get caught up in all the, like Josh said, the shiny new toys and stuff of what's going to come ahead in 2019. But, you don't want to make poor decisions and go after something that you don't know anything about. It's good to, scope that out. But, as we mentioned, just go back to what you've done good in 2018. So.
Well, exactly. I mean, just evaluate. I think that's a big thing. You don't want to spend so much time looking backwards that you don't move forward, but you need to assess and evaluate. And I think there's some great things on the horizon, especially for a lot of small businesses who haven't done much either in digital or are maybe fearful of the AI aspects or voice search, or even just some of the new things that Facebook we were playing with this morning that's come out. I mean, there's some different things that are out there. But be true to yourself. Be sure that you're reading. Make sure you're reading lots of white papers, getting yourself educated. Hire a consultant if you need to. But really get yourself in a position to where you understand what your consumer is looking for and how to touch them, and get their in attention. There's so many distraction points out there. So really work on getting a good solid plan, and then don't abandon that 2018 that worked.
I agree. I'll never forget till I die. I had the worst job interview of my entire life. This was probably 10, 12 years ago. And I just butchered this thing. And it was supposed to be 30 minutes, and after like 8 minutes into it, I remember the CEO of this company said, you know what, Josh, you just need to figure out what works and then double down. And I think that's a really good way to go back in 2018, find what works, tweak it a little bit, obviously, then double down and just repeat the process for success.
But, and that's great advice. When I was out in Denver with my brothers over Labor Day weekend last year, that's one thing that we talked about, and anyone that told me the same thing. He felt strongly about focus on certain things that work for you and really drive that forward. When you think about it, we're a multitask, multi-use culture anymore, and really unitasking, being methodical about things, especially in your marketing strategies, I think that's a lost art anymore. People are so worried about touching everyone everywhere. I got to reach this consumer here, I got to reach that consumer group there. You can't be all things to all people. So really, hone in and focus in, like you said, double down on what's worked well, where's your strength, play to that, build your weaknesses, but really look at, this is an opportunity to grow, but grow through your strengths and what you have a pattern of success, like Beth said.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
The fact of the matter is, you have weaknesses, and sometimes you're just not going to be able to change that.
Yeah.
So you could work day and night trying to improve your weaknesses and not gain much ground. So just double down on those strengths.
Yep. And to your point, Tony, always touch appropriately. Anything else you guys want to add?
Like, that's
Not
it.
now. I made a legal disclaimer.
All right, guys, for sure, subscribe to the podcast at pfsbrands.com/podcast. Reach out to us with questions at QSR Nation at pfsbrands.com. And obviously for Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant, and I, we'll talk to you next time.
Today's episode is brought to you by Kit Dell, your premier kitchen and deli experts. Visit them at kitdell.com. Be sure to stop by next week for another episode of QSR Nation. And be sure to check us out online at pfsbrands.com/podcast.